On the night of September 22, 2006, 16-year-old Cassie Jo Stoddart was house-sitting for her aunt and uncle in Pocatello, Idaho. She was a bright, responsible high school student with a promising future. But what should have been an ordinary Friday night turned into a real-life horror story. Cassie was brutally stabbed 30 times by two of her classmates, Brian Draper and Torey Adamcik, in a premeditated murder that sent shockwaves across the nation. What makes this case particularly chilling is the reason behind the crime. Draper and Adamcik idolized horror films, especially Scream, and wanted to create their own real-life slasher movie. They meticulously planned Cassie's murder, filming their preparations on a camcorder. In these disturbing tapes, the boys talked about their desire to achieve infamy by reenacting the brutal violence they had seen in movies. Cassie was chosen as their victim simply because she was accessible and trusted them. The crime itself was horrific. Draper and Adamcik attended the house earlier that evening, pretending to hang out as friends. But unbeknownst to Cassie, they unlocked a door to gain access later. Hours after leaving, they returned wearing dark clothing and masks, armed with knives. Cassie, who was watching TV alone in the living room, had no idea her life was about to end in such a horrific way. The boys attacked her mercilessly, stabbing her repeatedly before fleeing the scene. Cassie's body was discovered 2 days later by her family. The shocking brutality of her murder left the small town of Pocatello in mourning, but the details of the case only grew darker as police uncovered the boys' videotaped confession and their disturbing obsession with horror movies. Draper and Adamcik had not only recorded their plans, but had also filmed themselves after the murder, casually discussing how they felt no remorse. One chilling line from their tapes remains seared in true crime history: "We just killed Cassie." I mean, it was incredible. This case reignited a nationwide debate about the influence of violent media, particularly horror films, on impressionable minds. Draper and Adamcik claimed they were inspired by the movie Scream, which famously portrays masked killers stalking and stabbing their victims. But how much blame can be placed on the media, and how much falls on the individuals themselves? Were Draper and Adamcik simply disturbed young men looking for an excuse to act out their dark fantasies? Or did the movies they watched push them over the edge? The court didn't buy their excuses. Both Draper and Adamcik were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Their attempts to appeal their sentences, including claims that their youth should have been taken into account, have so far been unsuccessful. However, their crime and its connection to the horror genre have left an enduring legacy. Cassie's murder wasn't just a tragedy for her family and friends. It became a stark reminder of how easily reality and fiction can blur for some people. Horror movies are designed to shock and entertain, but when consumed by impressionable or unstable individuals, they can have devastating real-life consequences. This case has become a cornerstone in discussions about the impact of violent media on youth. It forces us to grapple with tough questions. Do movies like Scream glorify violence in a way that can inspire copycat crimes? Or are such crimes simply the result of pre-existing mental disturbances that latch onto convenient cultural narratives? For Cassie's family, the debate over media influence doesn't change the devastating reality of their loss. A kind, bright young woman with her whole life ahead of her was taken in the most senseless way imaginable. While Draper and Adamcik sought fame, what they achieved instead was infamy, a legacy of horror, but not in the way they imagined. This case serves as a chilling reminder of how the darkest corners of pop culture can inspire real-life nightmares. Cassie's story is one that true crime enthusiasts and horror fans alike should remember, not just for the shocking brutality of the crime, but for the deeper questions it raises about human nature and the media we consume. What do you think about this case? Do you believe violent movies can influence people to commit real crimes? Or were these boys simply looking for an excuse? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video compelling, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our deep dives into true crime and its intersections with pop culture. Thank you for watching, and remember, real life can be far more horrifying than fiction. Stay safe.